What's up YouTube, it's Louis here, hope you're all well. Today we'll be looking at Firo. Sorry I couldn't get this out earlier to you, I was just out sorting out the stuff for this new house that I'm moving into. So I think you're now broken above this resistance point. It's an area that we were looking at for potential rejection. With this breakout, it's not a convincing breakout for me, unconvincing breakout, because yeah, you didn't have an amazing pump above it, but yeah, you had an amazing pump to it, but once you got above it, it wasn't that significant. You were up here. If you did close up there, I'd have been suspicious, because look over here, when you close above it on the first attempt, you roll over. So for me, right now, you are rejecting the 55. We must hold 20 as support, otherwise you will technically be heading lower, because obviously this is a bearish trend. You're below the EMAs, so you can come up all the way to this one, the 55-hour double brick wall. Make sure you've written that down. The double brick wall is the 55, and once you come up to it, if you were to get rejected and lose this 20, you should technically go lower than this low. Well, of course, at least this, but yeah, you should be going lower because you're in a downtrend. That would signal continuation of a downtrend. But you can see every time you had a fake out here, which should have signaled further downward pressure, downward momentum, you couldn't get that. You can see, even though you went below all these EMAs, you should have gone lower than this low, and you actually printed a higher low followed by a higher high. So that's all positive. Now, of course, when you come down, you went lower than this low over here, so technically a higher high and a lower low, so it's a bit weird. But if we were looking at the larger structure, you can see you're still above this low, so any higher low above this is good for me. Basically, as long as we're above $4.13, I'm happy for Firo to go to $4.14, you know what I mean, and it'd still be a higher low and it would still be good for continuation. Although yeah, that would spell, if you do come down to here, you would be obviously would have rejected the EMAs, and technically you should go lower. If we were to lose the 1.272 and this low, you would be coming to the 1414, and our technical target since losing this one is $3.69. Now $3.69 doesn't have to come whatsoever, guys. If you can keep printing higher lows and eventually get above the 1 and flip that into support, you won't see any 1618 basically, but that is always a risk while you're still below the 1, so we need to look out for that. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame and look at this. You are at the 200 EMA and you come back for support. You have respected it, but of course what we need to see now is a bullish cross, and for us to fall back and hold that as support, and that would be good for continuation to break the 200 and head to higher price points. But if you were to come down and lose the EMAs, then obviously we know what's going to happen. You're going to head lower. Now you can see that we had a impulse to the, well, let's go to the 4 hour again actually. So here you have a nice wick. We'll measure down to here with the fibs. Swing high to swing low. You broke above the 618, basically validating minimal target the 1. We've run into $4.52 now, coming back for support. As long as we can find support, yeah, we want to find support on the 20, of course, but if we do roll over, we must find support above this box. So max you want to go down to is $4.39 before continuing up, and your target would be $4.68, which is next for Firo. Basically, there's not much more to say, guys. We just need to hold support. Basically, we need to hold above it, print higher lows, and eventually this could become a massive double bottom, this being your neckline, these 2 points being your neckline, this being the second bottom over here. You could even say that this is a smaller one bottom, neckline, second bottom, but I'm looking at this larger one like that, and then boom, 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 just like that. So that's pretty much it. We need to see us get above this to invalidate further downside to the 1618. But of course, we looking at the micro scale, we know what we need to do now. We need to hold this support for continuation to the 1618, find support on the EMAs, form that bullish cross for continuation to the 200 EMA. Once you're above the 20 and hold it support, technically if you can get above the 55, you will head to the 200. This is like a little strategy that I came up with that you can go and check in your own time.